Hey there, it's Cindy again. Welcome back to QuickBooks Desktop 2022. We are working our way down through Module 6 where we're talking about items and inventory. We're down to video number 4 now. We're going to talk about how to receive items into inventory. These would be items you've already created a purchase order for and now you've received them. You want to update QuickBooks so that your inventory number is correct. Let's flip over to QuickBooks and we will look at how to receive those items into inventory in QuickBooks. We're back in our items list and I wanted to point out the screen doors. You still only have one as far as the quantity is concerned because we've ordered 3 more, but we haven't received them. Now that they've come in, I want to show you how to go ahead and receive those so that they'll show up in this list and this quantity will change to 4. I'm going to go back to the home screen and following the flow chart, I'm going to go to the Receive Inventory icon. You'll notice here that there's a down arrow because there are 2 ways that this can happen. One, you can receive your inventory and the bill is actually in the box with it, or you can receive it and later the bill will come in the mail. They'll just have a packing slip for you to look at right now. But let's go ahead and use the bottom option. We'll say without the bill, because that's normally the way it happens. And now you're on what's called an item receipt. Now you have to have a purchase order in here already in order to pull from that purchase order. The first thing QuickBooks wants to know is who is the vendor. In this case, it was Perry Windows and Doors. Because we have an open purchase order, then it's letting us know that we can receive against one or more of these. We're going to say yes. This is how you're going to close the purchase order. You'll see there are 2 purchase orders here and you're going to choose the one you want to receive against. Let's just say I pick this one and I click OK. You'll notice it pulled in those 3 screen doors. What if you clicked the wrong purchase order and you want to go back and pick the correct one? Instead of getting out of this whole thing, notice you have a button up here that says Select PO. You would uncheck the one you pulled in, check the correct one, and then click OK. And you can see that I really needed that first one, so I'll go back and choose that first one. But the point is that you can actually change the purchase order that you pulled in. The next thing I want to do is go ahead and pick the date. This is the date that I actually received the items. Let's go ahead and say it was January the 3rd. If you wanted to put in a reference number, you could, and then the total. And that total shouldn't change because this is not a bill where they would add shipping or tax. This should be the same amount that was actually on the purchase order. Now, the only exception is, what if when you're looking at these items here, they only sent you 2 of those doors? Then you would change this to 2, which obviously would change your total up at the top. And then you could go through the same process when that last one actually comes in. Going across, you'll see it pulled in the cost. It pulled in the amount. And if you wanted to make this billable, meaning that you would have the customer reimburse you, you could click here and you can see it pulled everything you need right from here. Let's go back up and see if there's any new buttons that you're not familiar with up here. You should be familiar with all of these. We talked about selecting a PO if you choose the wrong one. You could also enter some time. What this means is if you are tracking the time that it takes you or an employee to actually process this, maybe open the box, put the things in inventory, the whole process, then you can do this because it's part of your job costing. You would just pick a start date and an end date for this, and then you would click OK. You can also clear the splits. That means that if you had multiple line items, you could clear that and start over, and you could recalculate it. There are some reports you can run as well related to items. There's an item listing, which just lists all your items. If you want to see the details about any purchase orders that are open, you can do that. There's a vendor balance detail, an unpaid bills detail, and purchases by vendor. Let's go ahead and click Save and Close at the bottom and see if our item list has been updated. When I look at screen doors, you can now see that I have 4 screen doors. So you can see that once you create those purchase orders, it's not going to change your quantity, but once you receive the item in inventory, then it will. That's how you're going to receive items into inventory in QuickBooks. Let's move over to the next video, number 5, and we'll quickly walk through how to handle the bills for those items that you just received.